Hello, today's topic is management of challenging behavior. What we do to manage a behavior? At first, we need to know what is that causing uh, to occur that behavior. So, first మనం తెలుసుకోవాలి ఏంటి అంటే ఏదైనా జరిగే ముందు దానికంటే ముందు ఏమైంది దాని తర్వాత ఏమైంది దానికంటే ముందు జరిగిన ఇన్సిడెంట్ ఏముండే సో దట్ ద చైల్డ్ ఆ స్టూడెంట్ ఈస్ బిహేవింగ్ సచ్ ఏ వే. Then we will see what is that consequence we are facing because of that. Like if a student is continuously seeing out of the classroom, that means before that he have seen someone moving around, someone who knows like his brother, your sister, yeah, some of his friends from other grades, yeah, some other sections, yeah, something. So what is the consequence? He might be continuously peeping out of the classroom and he might miss the class. So that's what happens. What we do to manage this behavior is we will see that the child is not getting distracted because of someone's around. We will make sure that he is sitting away so that his behavior is maintained, and the consequence is he continuously listen to the class. This is how we manage this kind of behavior. Next, we have differential reinforcement of behavior. What is meant by differential reinforcement? Difference is itself says that when we are giving reinforcement, it differs. So, where it differs and how it differs? Let's see. It has DRI, DRA, DRO and DRL. 4 types of differential reinforcement methods. So what is this differential reinforcement? It is a reinforcing a specific class of behavior. Like if we want to reinforce a target behavior, to increase it, we will reinforce it in one way. If we want to get a specific response, we will give reinforcement in another way. If we want to reduce the occurrence of the behavior, we will give the reinforcement in another way. So this is how we reinforce in different methods. So when coming to DRA, what happens here is actually here the child example engages in out of seat behavior. So his teacher decides to implement a DRA procedure. What she will do when he sits in his place, Kelvin will get a reinforcement. When he is not sitting in his seat, he will not get any chance of reinforcement. This is DRA method to maintain his sitting behavior. Next we have DRA. What we do, Sarah. What she does is continuously, if she wants, Sarah, what she does is, if she knows the answer in the class and she continuously calls like ma'am, 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 and it distracts the whole class and she won't get any proper response and she won't listen to teacher's information also. To reduce this, what she does, the teacher asked Sarah to raise her hand if she knows or if she want to tell anything to ma'am. So whenever she raise hand, then only that ma'am, your mentor, your teacher will give response to Sarah. That's how the distracting whole class and her attention towards the instructions should increase. The ma'am of the class has introduced the option of raising the hand to answer to the questions or to ask any queries. Next we have DRO. What happens in DRO? Here Julie. What Julie does is she continuously pulls her hair. So whenever she stops doing that, then only she will get a reinforcement. It should be reduced. That means it's not a good behavior to pull her hair in front of everyone or when she is free. It's not tidy at all. So to reduce this behavior, whenever she won't do it, immediately the reinforcement is forwarded. Next we have DRL, low rates. Here this low rate, that means there is no reinforcement at all is not present. Here lower 8 is something like what we do is we actually maintain the rate of it, like it needed to be present and the rate of it should be low. For example, if someone likes to say good morning, and whenever the principal comes, your teacher comes, or whenever the teacher comes nearby, they continuously say good morning, good morning, good morning, and it can go forward up to 20 to 35 times. And saying good morning is not a bad idea, they have to say it. So to reduce that frequency, we will give reinforcement when the reduction is less. Like what we do here, we put a frequency, how many times the child have to say good morning, when and where. We will take a limit, and it's not that easy to cut down from 25 to 1, year 5. So what we do, we slowly decrease it. We first put some target, and according to that we will reinforce. If the child is saying good morning, yeah, good afternoon, yeah, any greetings, yeah, saying hello, hi, more than the limit of time, we will not give the reinforcement. If it is within the limits, we will reinforce that behavior. This is how we do differential reinforcement of behavior. Next we have extinction and timeout for management of behavior. What we does is, extinction is something we follow when we don't want the behavior to occur again and again. Once we learn, we will do it the same way. To make it unlearn, we should not follow the same direction or same formula. For example, we want to comb our hair towards left side of our head. So we will do that. Once we learn to freely leave our hair, we don't want to comb either sides. So what we do, we follow an extinction combing behavior, so that we are not doing anything. And if we suddenly want to do the right side, we suddenly do that, because we already learnt it. So something that we don't want to follow again and again is, we won't follow anything to maintain that, yeah, such behavior. Next we have timeout. For example, yeah, extinction. Yeah, someone asked extinction. Another example is, for example, you used to give a child chocolate, and every time you see the child expects a chocolate from you, and you don't want this behavior to be continued. You used to give when you met the child for the first time, and when they are very younger, and this behavior should not continue. And to make it socialize, sometimes around is okay, but not every time you see the child. So to make this behavior extinction, what we do, whenever the child expects a chocolate from us, we are not going to give them. So they will learn this too, that this ma'am is not going to give chocolates from now on. When they learn that, they will not expect any chocolate from us. This is how we will do the behavior extinction. Next we have timeout. Timeout is a form of behavioral modification that involves temporarily separating a person from an environment. What we do in timeout is, we just pick the child from the situation where they are enjoying and not caring or listening to the instructions of the person who is giving instruction. We simply take them away from that, and we will put them in a place where they are away from all this enjoyment, where they were previously enjoying happily. So when we put them in timeout area, they will learn. We should listen to the instructions, if not we will face these situations. So when they learn, it should be in a limited time, not more than hour or 1 day, because it's not a good way. It will be like punishment given by parents, not a therapy. So what we do is, we just explain them when they get back to normal. When they are in a listening stage, we will give the instructions that if you does the same thing, you will be facing the timeout situations. So when the child learns it, we will reduce this timeout situation. Next, response cost and overcorrection. What is response cost? Here we are costing something. What is that response? So whenever we get a response towards what we are expecting, they will get a reinforcement. If the child gives a proper response, then they get reinforcement. If it is like we are not getting a response which we are expecting, then we will not reinforce that activity. For example, if I ask a child to go and get me green bowl or something, they might bring me bowl but it's not in green color, so I will not reinforce them because I want green bowl. If they bring red, black, anything, just because it's a bowl, I'm not going to reinforce them. So that is response cost. And if we have overcorrection, what we do in overcorrection is like mm, we correct that behavior should not to occur again and again. So not like other things, overcorrection is something like they will correct their mistake and they will do some other activities also to feel that if I does something like this, I may have to do more work. So Diana writes all over her desk with crayons. She is required to clean her desk and 5 other desks in the classroom. That means what she does here, she write all over her desk. So instead of cleaning her only desk, here the teacher asking to clean other 5 desks. So to reduce this burden, they will not repeat the behavior again. That's how we will do overcorrection of the behavior. Next, we have maintenance, generalization, and fading of behaviors. Maintenance of behavior is something like whatever we want the child, a student to follow, we will maintain such by giving continuous instructions, meanwhile checking whether they are performing in the same way or not. Like our PT teachers, hostel warden, someone will come and check, our dad, your parent, your teacher, your principal, they will come and check whether the instructions are clearly maintained or not. The same way we will check this children's performance IEP also, like all the behavior they learnt is maintained well or not. So for such we need to clear about what all they learnt, and it should be maintained for further development. Once there is a regress in this maintenance, we have to start intervention again. Then generalization. Generalization is something like whatever we taught here within us should be everywhere. It should be the same behavior in front of parents, teachers, siblings, whoever they are. Not only with the teachers or therapist, it should be same. And if they are recognizing something, they have to recognize everywhere, not only the toys which we are using within us, within our center or classroom. Next, fading. Fading is more important because all the time the therapist or teacher might go along with them. So if there is no fading, they will learn to dependent on the mentor. So we need to fade anything which we are giving as prompts or gestures, so that the child learns independent. For example, we all learnt bicycle in our childhood. Initially we need someone to support us, like by having an extra wheels to our cycle, someone who is just balancing behind, so that we have like confidence that someone is holding, and slowly they will remove the hand, so that we will learn by ourselves. Imagine if someone is holding, still now we are not going to ride the vehicles. So that's how we need to fade anything which we are giving as. Initially they need prompts, but not always. We should fade when we feel like they are like they learned it and they can do it. And we should see whether it's generalized or maintained or not. That's how we will maintain behavior. And thank you.